In Memory of by Paul Genzink. I will be playing the narrator.
I will be playing Kay. Oh. Kay is an elderly lady in her mid-70s. She is a very kind and sweet lady who holds a special place in her heart for her family. Her appearance is simple and her demeanor is a little worn as she has experienced many hardships in her life, but it is her love for her family and life that has kept her going. She is overwhelmingly hopeful and optimistic.
I will be playing Philip, a boy of 11 or 12 who is exceptionally curious about many things in life, especially about things he knows little about, which leads him to inquire about his late grandfather who he has never met. In addition, Philip possesses a wild and exaggerated imagination that is built off of a Hollywood influence of heroes and villains. His appearance is simple as well and emulates a typical preteen filled with energy and wonder.
Imaginary Grandpa is a character I will be playing, and he's a man portrayed in his mid-30s to mid-40s who is required to make fast wardrobe changes. He possesses many characteristics catering to what Philip imagines him to be. First, he's required to act Rambo-like with intensity and a commanding voice. In addition, he portrays a less intense yet still noble warrior and digresses into a man portrayed as a second-rate citizen. In his final scene, he is portrayed accurately as a kind-hearted father who spoils his children but also keeps them in line. He knows his way around a kitchen, but is only shown utilizing a ladle and a spatula.
Scene opens with grandmother, Kay, sitting on a comfy chair in what would be her living room. Next to the chair is an end table with a lamp on top of it. A doorbell rings, and she gets up to answer the door. Behind the door is her grandson, Philip, who is around 11 to 12 years old, and holding balloons and a card in his hands.
Philip!
Happy birthday, Grandma!
What a pleasant surprise.
Kay invites Philip inside, and they hug. Kay closes the door, and they move to the chairs and sit down.
My mom said you didn't like flowers, so I figured you might like these balloons.
Oh, that was very thoughtful of you. They're wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.
They both sit in silence for a brief moment, as they both seem to be thinking of something to talk about.
So, how is school going?
It's good. I like all my classes, and my teachers are nice.
That's good, that's good. Your mother told me you were playing soccer.
Yeah, I won't be playing much, but at least I made the team. It was pretty competitive.
You'll have to let me know when you have games so I can come out and see you.
Yeah, for sure. So, I was wondering, what was Grandpa like?
You know, no one's asked me about him in probably 10 years.
I hope it's okay.
Oh, no, it's fine. Well, what would you like to know?
Well, like, how did you meet?
My friend actually set us up on a blind date, and we hit it off. It didn't take long until I knew I wanted to marry him.
So how did he propose?
Well, he actually proposed to me while he was in the war.
The war?
Yes.
Grandpa fought in World War II?
Yes, he did.
That's awesome! Was he like a Marine? Did he like kill anyone?
Philip's mind trails off as he begins to ponder what his grandfather would look like. From stage right approaches a muscular man in army garb, but ripped up like Rambo, holding an AK-47 and a bandana wrapped around his head. Sound effects of bombs dropping and exploding along with gunfire and men yelling.
Come on, man, those crowds are right over that ridge. You won't feel till the last one of those Nazi pricks is dead. Let's go!
Actually, he was in the National Guard.
Oh, but he was in the war, right?
Oh, yes.
Good. So, like, did he fight in any major battles? Was he part of the invasion of Normandy?
There's no turning back now, boys. Just aim and shoot. We gotta make it up to the beach.
No, he was actually stationed in New Guinea.
New Guinea?
Yes, they were fighting in New Guinea as well.
So, was he a general or something?
He was a staff sergeant, part of Michigan's 126th Regiment, 32nd Red Arrow Division.
That's a cool name.
I suppose it is. Your grandfather's unit was scheduled to go to Europe, but General MacArthur was having trouble in New Guinea, so he specifically asked for the Red Arrow Division to help.
Wow, the general wanted Grandpa's unit?
Yes, he did.
That's pretty cool. So, what happened in New Guinea?
Well, his unit landed on the backside of the island and had to walk through the mountains.
Oh, like a sneak attack?
Well,
Keep your eyes peeled, man. The enemy could be anywhere. Stay low.
Well, yes, kind of like a sneak attack. But a lot of men died on those mountains.
Get down, we're under fire! This is Echo Bravo, we're having heavy fire requesting air support. Charlie, get down now!
Was Grandpa hurt at all?
He got malaria a few times.
No, I mean, were they ambushed in the mountains?
Not in the mountains. Most of them died because of disease, lack of supplies, or bad weather. They weren't attacked until they were at camp.
So, Grandpa got malaria hiking through the mountains?
Actually, your grandfather didn't have to hike those mountains. He was a cook, so he was flown into the camp with all the supplies.
A cook?
Yes, he was in charge of cooking for between 300 and 1,000 soldiers at each meal.
So, Grandpa was an ordinary cook?
Well, he wasn't just an ordinary cook. He was a great cook. Soldiers would say that his tent was the tent to go to for a good meal.
But a cook isn't all that exciting. Wasn't he wounded in battle or something? Did he ever see any action? Did he even fire a gun?
Oh, honey, there are more important things than that. He experienced war just like everyone else. Every day he had to deal with the loss of his friends on the battlefield, or those being sent home in rough shape.
Yeah, but he was a cook. It sounds kinda
What?
lame.
Imaginary Grandpa steps out stage right with cafeteria noises in the background. He's wearing an apron and a hat and holding a ladle, pantomiming serving soup.
Here you go, Sarge. Careful now, soup's hot. I want to wait a few minutes, let it cool down. Hey, Smitty, how's it today? You see any jabs? Oh man, I wish I could be out there with you boys.
Now, Philip, I don't want you thinking your grandfather is any less of a man because of this. He was a great man who loved his family, loved his country, and especially, he loved me, and I loved him.
Yeah. Well, my friend James's grandpa got a Purple Heart for fighting on the beach at Normandy. I guess I was kind of hoping Grandpa was kind of like that.
Well, that's good for James's grandpa. But your grandfather is special, and you want to know why? Because he's your grandfather. You should be proud of him. I certainly am.
What was he like?
Oh, he was the kindest, most selfless person I've ever known.
What does selfless mean?
It means that you always put others before yourself. It means that he would do anything for his children and even me. He may not have gotten any special recognition for fighting the war, but he was a hero to me because he was mine.
Kay pauses and Imaginary Grandpa steps out once more, this time in normal clothing, holding a spatula.
Kids, breakfast is ready. Rick, quit picking on your sister. What's that, honey? Of course I'll put extra bacon in the eggs for you. I made it just the way you like it. Jack, help your mother with the stable. Alright, who's first? Donna? Alright, there you go.
Imaginary Grandpa looks in Kay's direction.
You're looking exceptionally beautiful today, my dear.
Kay looks back in his direction and gets a little choked up. Lights fade on Imaginary Grandpa.
Do you miss him?
I do. Every day. But you know what? I get to see him live on through my kids and my grandkids. You're a lot like him, you know.
Kay begins to cry slightly, and Philip places his hand on her knee.
I'm sorry, Grandma. I didn't mean to say those things about Grandpa like that.
It's okay, Philip. I understand it might be a little disappointing that your grandfather wasn't a hero like you had hoped. But there are more important things in life than being famous.
I know.
Promise me that as you grow older, you will take what you've learned by your grandfather with you.
About being a cook?
No, about being selfless.
I will.
I know you probably think I'm just being that crazy old lady trying to give you advice, but I mean it. There are more important things in life than fame and fortune. You should be kind and considerate and...
I know, Grandma.
Promise?
I promise. So, you like the balloons?
Blackout.